Okay, let me just
Get all loosey goosey.
get all loosey goosey. All right. Um, so I guess we can start up here and how do we begin these things?
I think you just did. I think with your, I have to turn this camera off because I'll just look at your big. Because like on my screen, there's like me and you, right? And then over here, there's like Big James and Cat. So it's like I just want to look over there, but I'm gonna turn that side off so that way I have this side, so I don't look over there, because it looks cooler if I look at the camera ish. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye. Let's tell them that's the end of the stream. Let's end it there. Just kidding. I have to brag about my goals I completed.
Oh,
Um,
do it.
oh yeah, I have a list. I had a list of goals. Okay, so I had a theme for a character. Draw the character, upload procrastination video, edit video, and then KDP research, which we did, set up PayPal, and then question business PayPal. Everything got done. Everything. Very happy about
Nice.
it. We do have a
So,
PayPal account, and it's a business one. There was reasons why I did a business one. I don't remember exactly what the reasons was because I looked up the differences, and it seemed like a business one fit our needs more, and so I picked that one.
okay.
I don't remember the exact specifics because it was like a week ago, but
All
I
right.
trust my old self on that one.
Nice. And when did you do most of your activities?
Most
You
of them
doing?
were done on Monday. Um, the drawing I finished last night. Like I worked on it kind of throughout the week. It was a rough week, but for like drawing, but I did a lot of the everything else on Monday.
Monday. That's a work day for you, right?
Correct.
So you did it during work, or
Yeah, pretty much.
wow, good job. I wish I could have done that yesterday, but I got through it anyway. And
I'm gonna do
so
a quick change here. Don't panic yet.
starting to get worried.
There you go. Is that any better?
Okay. I don't know.
All right. Well, I put the big U on this screen so that way I don't have to look over at the other screen. Solves all my problems.
Sounds great. And so any observations about yourself or anything like that as you
Um,
completed your projects?
no, I
Timing, anything?
yeah, I panicked a little bit on the drawing part, but I made sure to set time aside to do it. Um, I had a lot more planned. I still wanted to try to do the other art styles of it, but I just didn't make time for it.
So I'm curious as why you chose to get your stuff done in a multitasking scenario instead of using one of your days off, since you have 3 days off. Can you like give your insight on that?
Um, so Sunday I edited the video and then I don't know, it's easier for me to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday than it is to not. I don't know. it was easier for me to work on like the things I could do like passively. Like I don't consider like making a PayPal, and I guess that was just mostly it. Is like making the PayPal was like the biggest thing. So I guess most of it was done. Like PayPal was done on Monday. The video edited was on Sunday. And then the drawing was done on Friday. So maybe it's more like I just ended up spreading it out more than I thought I did.
Okay, I wanted to see if there was any kind of pattern you noticed in your mind where you maybe push things off to certain times or anything like that. Anything that might be valuable to look at for yourself.
Something I've been really
any
clinging to
struggles
is
going
like.
on.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you anymore for some
Okay,
reason.
good. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No,
No.
I can see you move. You're on video, but I can't
There
hear
we
you.
go. I don't know what was going on there. Okay. Well, whatever. I did notice that I've been doing like adopting this thing of like, oh, I want to do this instead of like my work. And so it's like, okay, well, you can do that. You just have to finish your work first. And that's been helping because it's like, I want to do these things to distract myself from work because I don't want to work. But it helps knowing that I can still do those things just after work, after my tasks.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just like it's like, you know how you like sit down and your brain tries to distract you to do anything other than what's hard? It's basically what it was. And I was just like, I found a way for me to battle it, to battle that.
Well, I mean, when it comes down
Distraction.
to it, getting it done is the most important part, and I'm glad you were able to do that. That's great. I just wanted to see if there was any pushback on your own mind. Like, did you notice any struggle that caused you to do things on certain days or not?
No, it's like I had a lot of stuff to do this week. Well, I say a lot of stuff, but basically I had to prep for today's D&D session. And basically I left prepping today's D&D session and drawing for yesterday. And I got those both done.
Okay.
Speaking of which, you
Well, that
saw the
sounds pretty
drawing.
good. Yes.
What'd you think?
Yes, I did. What was I gonna write? It was like 3:30 in the morning that we got done. So I'm like so tired. Um, and I was gonna write something like, did I write it or not?
No, you said
Um,
good morning or see you
oh yeah,
tomorrow at
I
9.
was like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be delighted or disgusted. It's what I thought.
That's kind of the feeling I'm going for. So glad to hear it. So some things I noticed I needed to work on. The hands were really wonky, but with enough time,
There were
I cleaned it
hands.
up. Yes. You were looking everywhere but. And then
Let's see.
I wanna add some more like texture to like the spider part, because there's not enough like spider
Okay,
texture.
you know what my main distraction about this picture is? Well, okay, no,
Well, tell me
Okay.
what your main distraction is, James.
Well, no, I worded that wrong. Maybe that was a Freudian
Your main
slip there.
Yeah.
So she's staring at you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she has this book open that I feel like she should be staring at the way she's holding it. But she's staring at me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I want to say something about her, doing that. But I'm like, I don't know what to think about it
All right.
because the book, I don't know. This moment that is captured is hard for me to understand how she
Yeah.
would have done that unless she knew exactly what she was doing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's a tease, so that's all I got to say.
Yep. All right. How do you think the? What do you? I mean, I'm pulling it up myself because I want to look at it too. And if you subscribe to our Patreon, you can see it as well. Um.
Was that the first Patreon plug?
Yes, it was.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Um. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was. You know how I did the thing where I'm like, okay, my drawing's gonna look so terrible, and then I look back at it, I'm like, oh, I like that. This it happened again. Um, what did you think of the style? Did it seem
Okay, let
nice?
me.
It's this is more of a cleaned up, rough sketch than it is like a final drawing.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, well, I think you need to have some more detail on the legs, things like that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. The legs are missing a lot. Like I need more. Like I want more like hairs, like long hair things, and then
I think the transition between the flesh and the buggy part, um, probably, I'm not sure. I
yeah.
feel like there needs to be some more defining
Oh
in that
yeah.
transition point.
Yeah, and I don't know
Um,
exactly how I'd want to transition it, and
yeah,
it's
I
like
know that's the
it's a
hard part
hard,
right there. It's like you might
yeah,
have to think about that one. Maybe think about adding some different angular.
because I did
I
it,
mean, something a little odd maybe might help. I don't know, but
yeah,
nothing
because I
too
was looking at it on
distracting.
here too.
I don't know. That one's going to be tricky. Um,
Let me send you a pic of the one I did it like because I did it twice. I've done it on, well, I haven't done it twice. I did it. This is what I worked on during the week, and then that's what I did last night. Was that what I'm showing you? And so like I'm trying to figure out like how to transition it basically from.
her face is so like pixie,
Mm-hmm.
like so kind and sweet. Um, and that's what makes it so odd when you look at a spider body.
Right.
Think to
Well, I mean, I
yourself,
think I like the contrast,
I
but
know, I do. It's just so jarringly odd that it's like
mm-hmm.
this is so strange. Like I don't know. Imagine just walking into a room with something that actually existed that was like that, and you'd be like, what would you even think
Oh,
besides
I wonder if
horror?
there might be a disconnect from the theming. Like I should maybe incorporate more spider traits into both
Yeah, I mean, at
parts.
first I was thinking, well, maybe she could use some fangs, but then at the same time, her facial expression is so cute and innocent, and the book is, kind of brings in that trait too. That I don't know. I don't know if you want to, what element you want to portray
It
as the
wouldn't have to
overall
even
mood.
like elongating forms is what I was trying to um create with the one I just sent you. Like where like really long torso.
Oh, you sent another one. Let me see it.
It's unfinished, but basically it's like I wanted to have a really long torso that went into like that spider abdomen.
Oh, right. Yeah, this one feels a little bit more realistic almost.
Yeah, more
Like,
grounded.
yeah, just yeah, I think you have some good beginnings of angles and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And form. The form looks
Yeah.
like
No,
something
I really
that
do too.
it like as a concept for like if it was like in a movie or something, it would be like a. It looks more realistic, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, to
That's the
me.
kind of style I like to go for. It's more of a realistic
My
thing.
dog,
But I wanted
what
to
it's
make sure
doing
that
out
it
there.
was I wanted to make sure that it was digital because that's what I want to work is digital.
Mhm.
But
Oh, yeah, I have some talk about there too.
nice. But yeah, that's the drawing. Again, if you want to see it, it'll be on the Patreon. Not safe for work warning, but I'll have to set up the Patreon.
Oh yeah. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you were working on some characters there. All
Yeah.
that. Hmm.
All right, and let's talk about your goals. What did you accomplish this week?
You know, I it started off pretty rough of a week. Um,
How come?
I don't know. I just kept on pushing off things. You know, kept on staying up late, which was the theme all week. And then I'd get up late, and then when I started, it was like I didn't have much time, and I always kind of just tricked my mind into going, well, you only have like an hour. You should just play a video game, or don't you got some things you got to do right before. It was just forcing myself to not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by the time Wednesday rolled around, I was like, okay, well, you got to do something. So I started some stuff. I did some doodling um,
Nice.
on Photoshop. I basically went through all the brushes that were, I guess, natively on Photoshop. So I just choose a brush, open a new document, and just scribble and
Mm-hmm.
you know doodle and just see how the pen worked. Oops. And
You were like the headless James for a little bit.
nice. And I went through every single one, found ones that I liked, kind of, and most of them though I didn't like the feel of. I was trying to find something that maybe felt like a pen, like a real pen with how it would work on a page. And I struggled to find anything I really liked. I mean, there were a few that were pretty okay, but then I would go to just kind of observe the page, and I would be like, "Oh, this looks a lot like I took like some old school fat marker or something, and you know, meat
Mm-hmm.
hand it." I was like, "That's not the control I'm looking for." So I'd go to a real page and I'd scratch out something, and I'd be like, okay, so what I want like characteristics like this and that. And so I basically went through every brush and just kind of messed around and thought, I need to experiment with downloading some new brushes or trying to see if I could make my own. Um, because I just don't like the feel of it. I think to myself, well, at this point, I'd almost rather draw on paper, like sketches, and then scan them into Photoshop and begin there.
Yeah.
That may be what I do, uh, unless I can find a brush that behaves more like a pen. So, anyway, that's what I did on Photoshop, and
I can try to help you
um,
with that too, because I've got some like practice with that.
cool. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some thoughts on that at some point.
Yeah, because
Um,
I use like one brush for a lot of stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I wouldn't mind checking it out.
Yeah.
And let's see. I didn't get a procrastination video up, probably because I was procrastinating so much with my family that I didn't have time.
Huh? Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be Stardew. You know that. Like, you're not locked into Stardew.
Yeah, I was locked in Stardew with them. Oh,
Um, did you end up getting your desk cleaned this week?
I got that cleaned last week.
Well, it's
Um,
supposed to be like a weekly goal that you keep it cleaned.
oh, it's pretty clean.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't have to
I
be like
just
perfect.
right. It's clean enough. It's not like you know
Right.
pathetic or anything. It it feels good enough that I could just go work. Like it doesn't have a the feel of oh my goodness, this is gross. I can't do anything. I could just
Right.
sit down, cup of coffee, you know, begin, which is good.
Okay. Um,
Go ahead.
how's having? Have you been able to use the notebook to your left?
Oh yeah, I was actually staring at it right this second. Um, just kind of yeah, I did use it. Just more and more as a stray thoughts, and I haven't drawn in it though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I've written ideas down and notes and various things like that.
Yeah.
But so far, I haven't drawn. Of course, the notebook that I have right now is lined. I don't really particularly like drawing on lined paper, so I might have to think about that in the
Yeah.
future. But it wouldn't stop me if I wanted to doodle. It just I don't like it. That's
Right.
all. Um, but other than that, I did open up Scrivener and practice some. Okay, that was hard.
Yeah.
That was the hard thing on my week. I started that on Thursday, I think, and I thought, well, I haven't written in a long time, years. I'm gonna sit down and just do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I discovered a problem, and that was I can't practice writing. It's like my
Yeah.
brain won't let me.
I don't. How
It's
would
it.
you? How would you even go about practicing writing?
I don't know. People do it, or at least in The Sims, it says people do it. So I
In
mean,
The
it must be a
Sims.
thing, right? So anyway, um, I sat down. I'm like, I'm gonna practice. I'm just gonna write a random thing that I know is not going to be used. And my brain would. It just sucked. I was like, I didn't like it, enjoy it. And after like a paragraph, I think there was like one sentence I liked, and I was like, well, maybe I could keep that for something. But the rest of it, I was like, I just don't. I don't like this character. I don't know. I don't care what's going to happen. I know it's not going to go anywhere because I know I'm not going to continue it. So I really didn't. I just stopped after a while. I was like, forget that. I can't just tell myself this is useless and I'm just writing practice. No, I need to actually start something that I, might use. And then my brain will say, okay, well, we can at least do something here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll think about it, you know. So I did do that. And
So did you end up finishing all your goals this week?
I think I did. Um, I didn't do the procrastination video.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I feel like, I mean, I technically probably did, except for like working on my file system and backing up and all that anymore. I didn't really do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But when I examine myself, I know I could have done more. You know, I don't feel great about everything that I did. I feel like when I when I have a better grasp of my week, I will not be playing as much with people and that type of thing. I'll be more focused on more work. But
Mm.
um, the human element, the family element, is
Mm-hmm.
that's the hard part to deal with. You know, like I had a bad day on Friday. I did not like anything. I was like, man, I just want to get some stuff done and maybe go for a walk and straighten my head out and think about it. And Heather, she's just like, well, we all want to play Stardew Valley. Can't you just play Stardew Valley late night and we'll just and tomorrow you do whatever you want, you know. And so it's like it's so easy for her to convince me. It's like, how do you say no to that? But yet at the same time, you think to yourself, well, you know, I should have done the progression, but you
1 second,
just
sorry.
no problem. Just can't do it sometimes. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to continue talking to
Nope.
the
No, you're totally
audience
fine. I'll
or
just cut that
what.
part out. I wanted to. So I
Okay.
needed to make sure that everyone's all set up for their D&D today because they're supposed to level up, and then like some people did not because.
Because people are people.
Yep.
I always tried to level up best I can. Oh wait, no. Unless I
Yeah.
had questions, but
Well, I
I
mean
had a
that's
lot of
fine.
questions when I was a
I'm
mage.
not worried about
Anyway,
it.
yeah, life
Um.
goes on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm. They're not the only person in the world that procrastinates, and I get it.
Yeah.
Um.
Right.
So you were mentioning that you had a rough day on Friday, and then your family talked you into playing some Stardew.
Right.
And we talked a little bit about your rough day yesterday, on the phone.
Yeah, I don't really want to get into it much. It's
Right.
just, you know, rough days are going to happen and but it's how you deal with them. Um when I examine
Motivation.
how I dealt with it, I think okay, there's two trains of thought that people might go through, and that's you get so fed up with maybe your work scenario, your normal grind, that you think to yourself, in the heat of the moment, you are so upset that you would do anything to crawl out of it. And there's the school of thought where you harness that energy, you go for that walk, you start on that path that you know whatever is going to get you out. You know, you refocus that like anger into production. And then there's the other where you just need to take a break. You need to get away from those feelings. You need to relax. And then when your head is more clear, you have a full night's rest, then you can examine it and go from there. Um, so I chose, you know, the latter. And I would have to say I feel a lot better this morning, but there is that element of in the now energy that was not harnessed,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
There's like a motivation.
Yeah, but at the same time, you wonder, well, is your emotion going to skew the result? So perhaps it is better to wait that day, relax, wake up the next day, still realize, hey, I was in this mode last night. I was ready to do this. I'm not in that same mode right now, but I need to make sure that I examine what I wanted to examine in this new rested normalized state
Mm-hmm.
so that that decision point is not wasted. And I think that as long as you do that, then the choice is, I would have to say, better if you choose to just relax, let a day go by. You know, that's assuming you had a day to do it. But anyway, that's the decision I made, and I think it was the right one. Now that I'm in this new day, I do feel a lot better. Um, but at the same time, I want to look at all the things I want to do and really just go for that walk and take that time to think about life and and see if I need to change anything, or work harder or whatnot, and it's almost like when you start to work on things, because we've been starting to work on things for the last,
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks now. And it's almost like how much of that feeds into your bad day? You know, how much of your bad day is created by you over emotionalizing, if that's even a word, um, the work scenario because you're starting to do things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And are you just overreacting in your mind because you're frustrated that the production side hasn't yielded the result that you wanted yet, and you just wish that you just be done with all this mundane crap on the side? And so that could be potentially some mathematical portion of the bad day as well. So anyway, I might be over analyzing all
No,
these
I think there's
things.
something there. I do. Because like you see, it's like the last couple months as a senior in high school. Like you see the ending, so you kind of just like get fed up with like going to school every day and doing all your
Mm,
homework because you see the ending.
that's true. I didn't even
You
go to
see
my
the
last
out
quarter of high school.
because you already graduated. Like you already knew. So like, what's the point?
Yeah, I already had enough credits. I went to like CBC or whatnot for my last 2 years of high school, so I didn't even care.
Yeah. So it's like you see the
But yeah,
exit, and so like your tolerance for the bullshit is it's diminished. You don't have the same tolerance that you did when this was your only option.
I think you're right. And
And that's okay. I think it's just something that you're going to have to harness and basically like an energy that you can harness to push your because I feel it too. And I use that energy to push me cuz when I do my most amount of work, Mondays. That is when I'm the most motivated. When I'm like sitting there and I'm like,
I would have to say I don't know. Sometimes it kind of, it's like I know the deadline, Saturday. I need to have done stuff by Saturday. So this
mm-hmm.
week I was totally opposite than on the last week. Last week, you're right, Monday I got all my stuff done. This week I pushed off on Monday and Tuesday and didn't really start till Wednesday, I feel like, in my mind. But there was that looming deadline of Saturday. It just came pushing at me. It was like, you need to not have done nothing by then. So both of which is fine. We're getting things done over the last few weeks, and it's we examine things weekly, but it's a long game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, as long as you get done, it doesn't matter if you have ups and downs in the week. You know, I think that's why I like the weekly goals so much better than the daily goals
Oh
because
yeah.
I feel like I'd be a failure if I examine my
Daily
daily
goals,
too
I
much.
feel like there's just too much expectation because like one bad day and then you're already behind again, and then the next day you're like, so what do I have to do? Get yesterday's stuff done and today's stuff done? Fuck that! I'm not doing anything.
I think if I was to the point where I could do, if my day was mine, daily goals would be fine. I mean, to a certain degree. But I don't have all the hours in the day. So we're talking weekly goals, you know? If you work an 8 hour day, you really only have 6 hours of free time if you really calculate a normal day's rest and other things. So, and if you work 10 hours a day, that's four, you
No,
know?
3.5 because I got an extra half-hour lunch in my day,
Oh, there you
so
go.
even less
So it's
time
like squeezing everything you would like to do to accomplish in your life for 3.5 hours.
after work is after work. I'm so fucking spent, just like
Yeah,
mentally done.
it's just too much. So we got to rely on weekly goals when we have like full time jobs on the side. Eventually, that won't be the case, and I don't think weekly goals will. I think we'll still have weekly goals set up in my, or at least I will, in my mind. But I'll also have specific goals maybe for each day of the week that maybe I start to deal with.
I just
That
got
might be
excited
good.
about an idea.
Oh,
So, in the event that we both can finally escape our 6 to 10 or our 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. jobs, um, we could do a daily one of these and on
I mean,
Twitch,
anything's possible.
like just on Twitch every day, and that would be like really good.
Well, anything is possible. I mean, first I would say it's best to incrementally increase to make sure that you it fits in your lifestyle a little bit instead of, I mean, from 1 to 7 is
Right,
kind of
for
a big
sure.
jump.
It is. But like if I was
Let's
just saying
start
like
off a
in the
little
event
bit.
we had all of our time, man, having like a 30-minute session in the morning and then like just tasks to get done for the day and then talk about them the next day
Mm, I see what you
and
mean.
then and just like and like why we didn't get them done and just like that accountability for daily tasks I think could be possible. Cuz it's working
Well,
weekly.
yeah, it really is. The group is working weekly, and you're right. Well, when that is a possibility, I'm definitely going to entertain discussion about it. And yeah. So, any other things on your mind or whatnot?
Um, well, I can't help but remember that last night you told me you had written something for our pancake.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you know what my goals should be this week? I want to make an illustration for Spider Lady. But then I was like, wait, no, I can't. I gotta actually start working on the pancake this week. I'm excited to work on the pancake.
All right. So I'm not in love with the ending. I still probably should have edited it. I had a different thought, but whatever. Who cares? It's a pancake,
It's a
right?
pancake!
I don't have to like
Tossing it
edit,
away.
make it good. Who cares?
Nope. Who gives a shit?
All right. So I guess I'll read this
Yeah.
thing.
Read it. I'm excited.
It's okay. So even though I know this is
Got my
complete
popcorn.
garbage, that's awesome. It's still scary. Like reading anything, like in a fashion like
So,
this,
like,
where it's like, oh,
I
wow,
get fear
people
every
heard
time I
that.
ask somebody about my art. I believe it's going to be the same fear where it's like I have to
Yeah,
expose not only like my drawing, but also my lack of skill that is obvious in the drawing. Or like,
yeah, exactly. That's that's the way I'm feeling. All right, so who cares?
who
Let's
cares?
just go from here. I've
Yep.
already disclaimed a few whiles back that I have not written in years, and so here we go. All right. How do I even begin?
From the first word.
All right. I'm gonna make sure it actually ends. I didn't have like some. Okay, yeah, I guess there is. All right.
Want some popcorn?
Yes. Yeah. Here. Let me.
It's kettle corn.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, I have to go the other way.
Give me a piece of that.
Here you go, James.
Thanks. Excellent.
We did that so badly. You
No.
like went into the screen. I'm like testing it this way.
My portal to your universe is that way, and yours is. It's a dimensional thing, Joe. You'll get used to it.
Yeah.
All right, so. All right, I'm just gonna read this thing through, and no commentary. I mean, I'll hear maybe pathetic things in the background. I'll just ignore them and just continue reading. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Pancake awoke in a heap. All the jostling must have knocked him out. Rotten milk and various coffee grinds stuck to him as he squirmed, inched his way up and out the bag. He had been left untied, or it had been left untied. Typical laziness that he assumed from their haphazard way they mixed his ingredients. He caressed the lumps that protruded from his side, from the pathetic whisking from the youngest. You never give this task to the undeveloped humans, he thought. They could never foresee the repercussions of their actions. There was an evil-looking bird standing before him. Even he would not take a bite. Caw, caw, caw! Caw, caw, caw! Laughing in that way that birds laugh when they want you to know they understand exactly your situation. For every pancake knows that birds can see into your past. You'll see. You won't laugh next week, the pancake said, raising a torn piece towards the bird's beak in declaration. The pancake moved onward through the garbage dump. He passed mound after mound, and the toxic fumes seemed to linger and seep into his sponge. He found a pile of old action figures from the 80s and snagged an iconic blade, slightly covered in the dirt. You shall serve me, he said, looking deeply into the plastic sheen. Making his way to the front, he saw a bus, but he had no fare, so the driver would not let him stay on board. He made his way to the old house on the road, passerbys mocking him as he went. Look away, children. It's a firster. A woman huddled her children aside as they walked past. Walk in the middle of the street. Is that what you deserve? Said one of the kids. And yet Pancake kept onward. It was the dark of night when, at last, he saw his birthplace and the birth of his misery. He knew what to expect. The mighty Chihuahua would be beyond the door. Its simple mind would devour anything. The humans would not allow their pet to be fed the likes of Pancake. He felt the burn marks on his back, the evidence of pure neglect, too occupied to even lift him out. For before he was even flipped His unworth was decided. No, he would not end up in the stomach of the beast. He made his way up the steps and entered through the doggy door. The lights were here and there. He squished his way towards the kitchen. He would not back from the fight, but the cloak of darkness he would not misuse. He opened the fridge and gathered a great egg. The pantry was scoured and the dry ingredients obtained. He mixed with precision, the amounts measured and true. He whisked, and then he poured. The outcome he already knew. Just before perfection, just a hint of mistake. He took the first one off and gazed into her face. She knew his story. She saw everything strewn about. She read his pain, and she'd followed him straight out. Barks in the distance, barks coming all about. They slid as they ran. They could see the doggy door in front of them as they raced with all speed, but then he turned and faced. As he slid across the linoleum floor, Pancake caught the monster off guard and slashed across his great big eye. He thrust into his nostril. The dog opened his mouth in shock, and with a masterful lunge, he thrust the sword into the massive tongue, the plastic forcing deep into the flesh. The beast was vanquished, running away in all despair as the words of its master rang out, "Shut up, you stupid dog! Bed!" Triumphantly, Pancake exited the door with Bride gazing longingly at him. If it was his very soul. The next week, a bird flew down near the ocean upon an elegant cruise ship. It sat cleaning its plume until it looked up and toward the poolside deck and glimpsed the sight of two pancakes together. He did not caw in laughter. Caw, just twice, in recognition, for it looked back and saw their struggles, and it looked back and saw their victory.
I like it. That's gonna be fun. I love that you ran with the pancake thing.
Yeah, I really did, because I hated that term so much. So I'm like, I couldn't get it out of my head. I was like, pancake. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the first pancake here. So
That's great. I really liked it, James. It's gonna be a fun. It's gonna be a fun novel. I feel like okay. Oh my gosh, there's so many. I got so many ideas already.
I threw in some things I thought could be good angles, maybe some interesting, you know, like actual perspectives that you might be able to draw up.
Right. I want to make this thing as serious as possible. But like obviously over serious.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of how, you know.
When he was measuring the flour or the thing, I want him to use the sword to scrape it off.
That's good.
Well
It
done,
wasn't
James.
so bad reading that after you're done. Like during it, it's a nightmare. But
Oh yeah,
when you're
like,
done, it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I did it. I read that.
Mm-hmm.
When you write it, you don't think you're reading that out loud, and then afterwards you find out, and you're like, oh man. But it wasn't so bad now that I'm done. You know.
Well, I really liked it. I'm excited to start working on it.
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty good just project for us to know the ins and outs of how the printing works and all that stuff. And still have a fun little thing to put on the shelf afterwards, because I guess, you know, pull that out and be like, oh, this thing we made together.
It's gonna be so many questions.
I saw a hint of like Dr. Seuss coming in. I had just watched like 2 days ago, like like the Grinch that stole Christmas. That's so in the middle of there, all of a sudden, it's like Dr. Seuss coming out. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
there was a
I
bunch
gotta
of
get out of
rhyming,
that.
but I was kind of digging it.
I was like, well, whatever. It's a pancake, right?
Right. We're gonna have to try to make sure the same feeling comes across in some of these scenes. And how we're gonna, because we plan on doing like a comic, right? Essentially.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I think we should get some practice in various forms. I think there should be like full page spreads. I think there should be, um, quick action. Like, I imagine like where he did the like triple combo attack. Basically, we should have some kind of a method for like maybe all three attacks to be displayed on the same in the same area or something, so that we could have practice in that type of like quick action kind of way of relaying. Um, as I was making it, I thought some of those things through as I was doing them. Like, okay, well, we want to maybe see how this looks. So, I think that I got enough variety in there that we should be able to experiment with a few things.
Yeah. I'm excited. Ah, it's very exciting.
Did you expect the pancake to be the
No,
pancake?
no, I, I did not expect the pancake to be a literal pancake. Well, at first, pancake too. It's good. Hopefully, you get comfortable writing for the pancake because it sounds like. I mean, I do think that there's something actually here
What? What do you mean?
with the story. You don't think people are gonna be totally into like a super serious pancake? Better get writing story 2 for the fucking pancake, cause
Oh
man,
my goodness.
but yeah, I liked it. I'm excited to write about it or to draw for it.
Nice, nice. I'll maybe I'll shoot you, or I'll put the like a text form of that into our, you know, all those gigabytes we're paying for. Make use of that.
Sounds good.
Cool. Uh, yeah. Um, I think the momentum has been the best part of beginning this whole thing. Um, it's, the week just happens, and then you reflect on the week during this, and but when you look back at the weeks stacked together, um, the weeks are hard in and amongst themselves, but then you start to get, at least for me, I'm feeling this feeling of, I mean, dare I say accomplishment, but it's,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, y- I, I kind of can see how all this type of thing is going to actually work. You're going to, we're building a track record here. We're getting things done. Um, if you would have estimated how much work could you possibly get done in the allotted time, and you think about how much time you actually have extra, and you estimate that in the beginning, it probably would have been a lot more than what I've actually done. But in actuality, it doesn't take a lot of work to get further. And I don't see it taking, years to get something done. I mean, things are just happening and you just do them. And it's just rather exciting, for somebody especially who's put things off for so long and you just stop and then you get to the point where you just don't do anything. But now it's great. I'm just loving it.
For
I
me,
love the momentum.
what you're describing is hope.
Mm.
Like hope that there is something better than what we're dealt with. And that like there's we've this isn't the first time we've tried to make a project together or tried to do stuff together. But this is the first time I feel so confident in our process with these like recorded weekly meetups. I don't know like what is different about this than what we used to do. But this feels like incredibly successful.
I think it's because we're finally to the point where we're gonna do it, that we've taken this extra step even. I mean, this is a scary thing. We're recording everything we say about this. We're recording the process, the failures, the successes, the journey along the way. You don't do that unless you are going to do it. And I think that's where we're at. We're going to do it. So that's exciting.
It is, and I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to have a basket to put eggs into. You know how they say don't put all your eggs in one basket? Well, I finally have a basket. I'm going to put some eggs in it. It's like, I don't know, like solo projects for me are hard.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why, but it just feels like they're a lot harder than working on it with someone.
Well, I mean, I obviously would agree because, I mean, I haven't got anything done on the side. So I agree. I think it's because you're less hard on yourself when you're the only one to be accountable to. And you forget, you know, a set time to look at what you did during the week and to examine yourself in a realistic way and have somebody ask you tough questions.
Yeah, because we're not like nice to it. Well, I mean, we're nice, but we're not like
Right. We're trying to make stuff happen, and so we have to ask anything that comes up in our mind. We have to be ready to answer that. Let's go.
And I
Well,
mean,
why didn't
I
you
think
do
a lot
anything?
of it is like we've been friends for a decade now, if not
Yeah,
longer than a decade.
longer than that, but yeah, we've been through so many ups and downs that it doesn't. We can say anything to each other, and we know we're not
Yeah,
attacking each other, and we don't. Yeah,
yeah,
there's no problems. You would have to do something if anybody would collaborate with somebody. I would definitely recommend collaborating with somebody who you have a strong relationship with, where you know that nothing's gonna just end your friendship in a day. Somebody says the wrong thing or whatnot. I mean, you got to be pretty solid, and
something
you got to
else.
keep up a conversation.
Yeah,
I would
no,
recommend
absolutely.
not dispersing, like, oh, I work on this, and we don't communicate regularly.
Right.
Um, I've done that before too, and it didn't work out too well.
No, it's about constant communication and then airing concerns. That's a big one because you can't let them build up. You have to air
Right.
concerns. And then before you like get into anything financial, make sure that you guys both understand the like percentages and everything, because right now I assume that we're doing 50-50.
Right. Well, I mean, 50 of my 50 is from your 52. So,
Shit.
yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So like basically we pay for everything, like the website and everything, and then any profit is 50-50 split.
Sorry, I was too busy laughing at my own math there. But what did you just say?
I was saying after like we pay for everything, like we pay everything back,
Oh, yeah. I'm assuming after expenses.
yeah,
That's,
everything after
you know,
expenses is just 50-50.
right. Yeah, that's the way that I would definitely be going for. Want to make
Now,
sure that everything's paid for, and then after that, if there's anything left over, we split it.
yeah,
Yeah.
eventually I'd want to get into making this a corporation for the tax benefits.
Yeah, we could discuss tax benefits. I mean,
Yeah.
limited liability corporations and all that stuff. Whenever, but probably not. All in
Yeah, it's not a right
boring
now
stuff.
conversation, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, but I mean that's just because I see a light at the tunnel. I feel like it's good just to mention these things, because that's just, I think, a description of how, like, I can see the trail. Like I can see the destination, and I can see all the steps along the way.
Yeah, and as you get accomplishments, even if they are weekly small accomplishments right now, just getting over those little hurdles makes it so your mind's able to look ahead at some of those other ones that are coming up, and you're like, okay, well, I can start to, calculate some reasonings here, and start looking into that kind of stuff. It just becomes easier and easier to ask the harder questions as you go along. I really, and it's all simple stuff of actually just getting things done. But when you watch these, get it done in motivational videos, and I'm sorry when I see the super young, oh, it's so easy. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it's so easy when you're living in your mom's basement and you're, have no work, and you have 40 hours a week that you don't work at a job, and you're sitting there getting things done. Yeah, I could do that too, probably quite more effectively than most people. But I work 40 hours a week, and I have a family, and I'm in the middle of my life. I'm not the start with, I got bills to pay, I got debts, that I still have to repay, and it's harder to get everything done in that kind of circumstance.
Nope, for sure.
But this has
But
been easy in relative terms.
it has been, and I think because, okay, so I think a big issue with getting things done is, and this is going to sound so stupid, it's like it makes sense now and it made sense before, but being in it really changed my perspective on it. It's like you hear like advice, and then when you finally do it, you're like, okay, I get that. And the advice is we're just taking chunks off, little tiny chunks that we can do that are breaking down this arbitrary goal of create a book. And we're just taking little chunks, and we're doing those little chunks, and it's becoming a thing. It's happening, little chunks at a time.
You're right. Little tasks adding up. And you're right. I've heard that type of thing. Not the chunking word,
Well,
but
yeah, but
basically the same concept.
yeah, break
And
the big projects into down smaller tasks, and
it always sounds so easy, but it's it's Big Mo. It's that momentum that
And there's something
needs
else
to
there.
happen.
There's something else there. My okay, because I've heard that before, right? The break down larger tasks into smaller tasks to get them done, right? Which made me assume, hey, I need to know what I need to accomplish from the beginning all the way to the end and break those everything down into smaller tasks. When that's not the case, you just need to break down the start, like or like something you can do. It's not necessarily go through and create a step-by-step process to get this done. It's break off a piece that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always assumed with that analogy or that idea was I had to break everything down into bite-sized cubes and then I could start.
Right.
Where I would not recommend that because that's
No.
overwhelming. I would say
No, you're
find
right.
something you can do, break that off and do it. And then find something else you can do, break
And
that off
then
and do it.
start. Yeah, you're absolutely right because I am the type of person that wants to break down all those things. It's like, oh, make a novel. Oh, okay. So remember how we were reading about KDP the other day, and going through all that? My brain would be like, okay, well, you need to understand all the aspects of all of these things so that you can correctly break down every step. Dude, by the time you're in paragraph 16, blah blah blah, you're done making that breakdown. You're doing anything else, and you're lucky if in 2 weeks you remember again to do it. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree. I agree. Yeah, so and maybe this is a good short. Fuck breaking your stuff down into small bite-sized chunks. Just break off a chunk.
Yeah.
And then break off a chunk when you're done with that chunk. That's all it takes. And you too can complete a large project.
It's working. Mm-hmm. And then once you have some of these tasks done, those chunks have been looked at, you look back and you go, okay, I did this, this, this. And then all of a sudden you can start to get a grasp and have the time to think, okay, well, what do I need to do next? Or what are the next few things that I would like to do in relation to this? You don't have to understand it up front, in a complete manner. You just
Right.
know that task number one, oh, okay, well, in order to, do this, I need to do that. And it's, I agree, 100%. It's
Yeah.
easier. It's the way to do it.
That's it feels so simple. Like it feels so unbelievably simple.
It is.
And maybe it goes back to the kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Where because it's so simple, it just it's like I tried to overcomplicate the idea of creating thing or getting things done. Like I really am frustrated that I wanted to make sure I had everything written out and figured out before I started, and that would completely cripple any chance of me getting anything done because you don't know what you don't know, and you won't know until you start. And so like
Yeah, and it
having
really, you can look at every aspect of your life too in this kind of a way. Your relationship with your kids, your spouse, whatever's whatever is a factor in your life. You'd be like, well, I overcomplicate everything. I think relationships, in your mind, you have these grandiose things of what you should do to be, better at whatever. And when it comes down to it, it's just that small little action, once every day or two that really makes the relationship, and it's not necessarily the big, vacations or whatnot, or whatever else you think it is where you overcomplicate it. It's just it's it's consistency, and it's the small things over time that keep it together. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've been married for almost 25 years now, and it's the simple things over time that keep you together. So,
For shizzle. Um, yeah, and I don't know. I am. I'm excited.
so where do we go from here? What what are the next things that need to be focused on?
I would like. I'm gonna start writing my goals out now. I would like to draw up some sketches of Pancake Man or of Pancake of our protagonist.
Hmm.
And what's interesting about Pancake is it's not a too hard of a concept to draw.
Yeah, I thought you could do some things. I was like, well, how's he gonna do things? I was like, well, if there was this torn piece off of him, you could make that into like an arm. He could do things with it. He could wrap stuff around. And
Mm-hmm.
so, there's some freedom there to actually make a character, you know. So as concepts go, I guess it's actually doable.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll drop some ideas. And probably just like throw them your way during the week.
Cool.
And then we can discuss it more on next Saturday. And then I want to edit this video. And then get it out probably by Monday night. I don't want to push myself to do it by Sunday because I have some stuff I planned tomorrow, but I'll try to get done basically before I go to sleep on Monday night.
I'm not sure what I don't. I want to have some concrete goals here because
You
I
need
think that
concrete
really
goals.
helps.
Yeah, right. We got to write some stuff down. We're gonna need backgrounds, so practicing, or not even practicing, drawing some backgrounds or working on watch some videos on perspective will be very important. If you already understand the concept, I don't know where you're at currently with your sketches.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Because yeah.
I'm to the point where I don't even like the pen I'm using. So,
Oh no.
but I'll see what I can do to start thinking about that. Um, I think before that, though, at some point we should probably discuss basically to make a scene selection. What do we think is a decent angle here or there? What are actually our keyframes here that we want to
Oh,
actually
yeah,
do?
keyframes.
So I think that we should have that talk eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So the keyframe thought. So that way we're not, if we know of the general idea, we can both be working on the same picture instead of who knows what scene you're looking at from what angle you're looking at. Instead, we can kind of like solidify that together, and then there'll actually be like a background that works on top of an image that works. So wasting time is one thing I want to make sure we're not doing.
No, for sure. Um,
Mhm.
so when did you want to have the discussion about keyframes?
Whenever, not right this second, but
Okay.
like anytime. After this, whatever, doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do it, and I need to definitely continue some kind of writing practice. I don't want to use the word practice. I just want to write something, and we also need to delve deeper into the KDP agreement,
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit each period,
Yep.
and beyond that, I just have individual goals or rather, of just trying to get my file system and backups and all that up and running. It's going to be a long-term project. Oh, and we also got to think about a podcast
Mm-hmm.
as well. And we also need to look into Patreon.
Right, I can do the Patreon thing.
So,
I've set up a Patreon before, so I can set up another one.
oh, okay, cool. Anything else you thinking about?
Um, I don't know. I don't want to overwhelm myself with too many things,
Hmm.
and I want to spend as much time as I can drawing different renditions of Pancake.
Okay.
Because I am so excited to have something to be working on for the project. You have no idea. Like to actually have something, it feels exhilarating.
Yeah, it's scary in a way.
It is
Um,
absolutely fucking mortifying, but I'm excited.
like, but it's like, okay, well, we have an actual thing to draw now. We have an actual concept. We have an actual, we know all the little things are starting to piece together, and each week there's a new thing to be excited about, and that's where the journey is pretty fun. Um, Whereas if you had to figure all this stuff out in the beginning, those chunks, and put them all in a big list and try to
Fuck
factor
that.
in when to do what and make deadlines for each thing, wouldn't that sap all the exploratory energy out of it? Wouldn't it just sap all the fun out of it? I,
Yeah.
I don't even
Like
know
that's something
if
you
you can
do
have
in a
fun.
board meeting because they asked you to and you've already done this process 100 times, so you know what the fuck you're doing. Not as like a newbie.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. If it was my job to make a list, I probably could do it.
Well, you'd have to be a list of something that you're already comfortable with doing. Otherwise, you're just gonna make up these weird numbers for shit.
Isn't that what they do? It's, you can
Yeah.
make any number explain anything, right? So,
So, what are your goals?
well, my goals are we need some keyframe thoughts. We need to
Okay.
do that. I would like to do writing in some degree, this week. We need to look at KDP, some kind of forward motion there,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to talk about podcast. And you said you were gonna mess with Patreon. I wouldn't mind understanding a little bit about it.
Yep.
And then I have file system and backup. A lot of my things don't have a lot of individuality to it. A lot of it's
Arbitrary.
so.
Yeah, we need specifics. I need to do specifics too.
I mean, that's a lot of stuff. Even if we didn't accomplish all of that in a week, it's not bad. But a lot of this isn't honed. Like, oh, we're going to look at the KDP agreement. Okay, well, are we going to do that for a specific amount of time? Are we going to, we need to have some kind of not so fuzzy.
Ambiguous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, specific goals. So my goals are draw pancake sketches. I think that's fine for me. Edit video by Monday. That's pretty specific. KDP is just written down. I figured we could just do it after today, and then, just lean into that again, until we're just like fucking done with it, or I have to go. And then I have draw other stuff, and this is more of just a me goal where I just want to be drawing other things too. This is not specifically for it. This is just a me goal where I want to be drawing just other things. Because like when I have a specific thing in mind, like I'll only draw pancake this week, and I won't draw anything else, and that'll make me sad. I want to be drawing other things too.
Mm.
I really enjoyed drawing Spider Lady.
I thought of something. We need to decide on a line art style, basically. Like if you're using a pen of this much to outline or whatnot, we need to be matching the same thing with the background so they look like they're from the same universe. Otherwise, it's going to be a little weird. So we need to kind of match up in that regard. What's our style here? What's our whatnot?
Yeah, I think
so
that'll
I might actually need first a basic sketch of pancake, like what you're thinking character wise, and once we get kind of like that feel, then we try to match the background feel to that as well.
Okay.
So I'll write match pancake to background.
Would it be okay if I suggested a goal for you?
Go for it.
To draw a background. I don't think it's just kind of like just
like
a
it.
background of something. That way we're kind of knowing like where we're at. And
Oh, okay.
no, I mean I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just like
No,
I want to know.
I was smiling. I was thinking to myself. I was thinking about like going into like Yoshi's Island or something, and like finding like some of the kittiest looking drawing possible and throw it out like I was all excited, but I couldn't do it. I was like, oh, take a look. See what you say.
You did so good, James.
Yeah, I can try to draw a background.
Heck yeah.
I need to find a pen I like though,
Okay.
but I'll do my best.
You could draw it IRL if you wanted to.
Oh, that'll be great.
I ended up buying this and this for that exact
Those
reason.
actual rulers in
Those are
real
actual
life.
rules in real life.
Do they still sell those?
They do on Amazon.
Wow. Okay.
I wanted the
Good to
small
know.
one because I use my small sketchbook and I don't want it to be too unruly. Ha! Get it? Unruly. That's great. So I bought the one that has both sizes.
Nice. Nice blue color too. I
I liked
expected
it. It
the
made me happy.
normal old school wood with the metal side.
Yeah.
Mm.
Lost my ruler.
Well, how
It
you
fell down.
feeling about this week? How you feeling about week 4? You
I
know?
feel like I did my goals. I didn't do them to the extent that I wanted to, but I did them, which I guess is an accomplishment. And then I'm excited for week 4. Wait, week 5, where we are. Are we starting week 4 or are we starting week 5? I think we're starting week 4.
Well, this is video 4, so whatever. Just this week.
I'm excited for
Figure
this
out
week.
the
Yeah, I think we're moving into week 4. So week 3 was good. I'm excited for week 4. Because we did a video and that's when week 1 started. Because we had our goals for week 1. Yeah. It makes
Okay.
sense in my head.
Yeah, that works.
So week 4, I'm very excited. I can't wait to draw some pancakes. I'm excited to see what happens.
I feel basically the same. I mean, I got some stuff done. I don't feel overwhelmingly great about the amount of work that I did, but there's been movement forward, and I can be decently happy about that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's my
yeah.
exact that's my exact feeling.
You don't always have to be elated about your week. As long as you move forward, it's actually been a pretty good week if you look at it that way.
Yeah. One second here. I'll do it later. Okay. Is there anything else we want to go into before we wrap it up and then restart the video when we have something to say?
Right? Oh no, I mean it's starting to become interesting how we have a closing in the middle of our video. So
It's tradition now.
yeah. So I mean,
Tradition.
thanks for watching. This is the we should have an intermission like screen. You should draw
Yeah.
up like an intermission screen and we can do some kind of music in the background and then throw up our second part.
Yeah.
But you know, thanks for support, clicking on things, all that stuff that people do for videos apparently.
We
And
appreciate it.
if you're listening to this on podcasts, wow, we got a podcast at some point. That's cool.
How cool
You
are
listen
we?
to this stuff?
You listen to this
Wow.
stuff?
My goodness.
What's
Does your
wrong
mother
with
know you listen to this stuff? My goodness.
Let me tell your mother. She's gonna have some words with you. All right, bye.
Bye.